This is nice. Rain outside. Tea. Blankets. You. Honestly, this is one of those evenings. I don't think I need anything else. Oh, the game? Yeah, we can start in a minute. I just need to show you something. Look at this picture. No, not the people. The castle. Look at it. Look at those walls. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Because I have the history face? I do not. Okay, maybe I do. Apparently I have a face I make whenever I'm about to accidentally explain something for 45 minutes and ramble. Okay, so this is gonna sound really weird, but I ever tell you why medieval castles are actually genius? Thank you. I appreciate your poor decision making. No, seriously. People think castles are just giant houses. They weren't. They were thousands of tiny engineering decisions, all working together to make invading them an absolute nightmare. And I love that. Think about it. When someone says castle, most people picture big walls, towers, flags, maybe a drawbridge, right? That's the movie version, though. The real version, somehow, even cooler. Because every single weird feature exists for a reason. Nothing is random. Nothing. Take the walls. Everyone thinks walls are tall. Yes, obviously, tall walls are useful. But have you noticed they're also incredibly thick? Sometimes they're thick enough to fit an entire room inside them. Not because medieval architects were showing off. Because if someone spends 3 weeks hitting your walls with giant rocks, you'd like to, there to still be a wall there afterward. Reasonable. Very reasonable. Okay, so my favorite part? Ready? Most castles were built on hills. Not because they look dramatic, although they absolutely did. No, because if you're making an invading army walk uphill in heavy armor, it's hilarious. I mean it. Imagine it. You've marched for days. You're carrying armor, weapon, food, a shield. You're exhausted, and you look up, and there's another 300 feet of a hill before you even reach the wall. That castle is basically saying, good luck. I'm doing the hand thing again, aren't I? You know, when I get excited, my hands decide they also want to participate. Okay. Question. If you were defending a castle, where would you put the front door? Right? Near the middle. Makes sense. Easy to reach. Convenient. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Castles made getting to the front door as annoying as humanly possible, because convenience is wonderful until your enemies appreciate it too. Some castles have winding approaches. Force attackers to expose one side of their body. Guess which side? The one that wasn't protected by their shield. Because most soldiers carried shields on the left. So castle designers made them approach in a way that is exposed their right side. That's not luck. That is someone sitting at a table 800 years ago thinking, how can I make this everybody's problem? I admire that level of commitment. Oh, and then there's the gatehouse. Oh, sorry. I love gatehouses. People think the gate was like the weakest point. Actually, it was often one of the strongest. Because getting through the gate didn't mean you were inside. Congratulations, you've simply reached another problem. Sometimes there was a second gate, or a third. Sometimes heavy wooden doors covered in iron, like in Elden Ring. Sometimes metal portcullis. Sometimes both. You'd get trapped between them. Not ideal. Very bad day. Oh, sorry, I'm speeding up. This always happens when my brain gets excited and suddenly my mouth is trying to keep up. Okay, slow down. Breathe. History can wait 3 seconds. Whew. Okay, so you know what's funny? Every generation thinks they're incredibly clever. Then you look at medieval castles and realize those people were solving engineer problems with stone. Not computers, not calculators, just experience, geometry, trial and error. And somehow, some of those castles are still standing. After war, storms, centuries. That's amazing. What? You're not even looking at the castle anymore. You're looking at me. I know, I get this look. Like I've just been given permission to info dump. You know, thank you. Seriously. Not everyone lets people get excited about weird things. But you do. You always do. Even when I'm like, we'll just spend 5 minutes. Somehow it becomes an entire lecture of medieval architecture. Speaking of which, we haven't even gotten to the best favorite part ever. No. Not the drawbridge. Better. Much better. Have you ever heard of murder holes? I know that's the actual name. Whoever named medieval castle defenses had absolutely no interest in subtlety. It's not defensive vertical aperture number 3. No, it's a murder hole. Very efficient branding. No, seriously, picture this. Somehow you've managed to get through the first gate. Congratulations. You're feeling pretty good. You think, we're getting somewhere. Except now you're standing inside the gatehouse, and above your head is a ceiling. Looks perfectly ordinary. Until it isn't. Because built into that ceiling were openings where defenders could look down. They could drop stones, boiling water, sometimes even hot sand. Not boiling oil. That is one of those movie things. Oil was incredibly expensive. People weren't pouring something valuable onto attackers. Water, much cheaper. Sand, also surprisingly effective. Imagine hot sand inside medieval armor. Can't just take off the armor. You're in the middle of a siege. No, thank you. See, this is why I think castles are genius. Everything is designed to make attacking them as inconvenient as possible. Honestly, the entire castle seemed to be philosophy was, I hope your day gets progressively worse. And speaking of worse, staircases. Have you ever noticed in movies that the castle staircases always spiral? That's real. And they usually spiral clockwise. And there is a reason. Most people are right-handed. So imagine, you're an attacker. You're climbing upward. Your sword is in your right hand. The central pillar keeps getting in the way of your swing. Meanwhile, the defender coming down the stairs has all the room in the world. Like this. See? Ha! You've reached the stairs! Why can't I swing my sword? It's brilliant. It's architecture helping you win a fight. Oh. I am standing. I got so excited that I stood up. This is becoming a presentation. Hang on. Okay, so this cushion is the castle. Do not laugh. This is important. All right. Here's the wall. Now this mug is the tower. Perfect. I know, it looks ridiculous, but trust me, this helps. People also think the towers, this mug, were just for looking cool. Nope, they stick out for a reason. If the wall was completely flat, you can't see what's happening right underneath it. That's the problem, because attackers love standing right against the wall. So towers stick out. That way the defenders can look along the sides of the wall. It's called flanking fire, which sounds like the name of a fantasy novel. Castle designers were basically thinking, how can we make sure there isn't a comfortable place for you to stand? Every answer was, add another tower. So this spoon, okay, hold on. This spoon is now an invading army. Look, you're marching. Everything is fine. Then suddenly, archers! From this tower, and maybe the tower behind you. You know what castles really are? A three-dimensional puzzle. But instead of solving them, they're trying to not get shot. That sounded way more dramatic than I intended, although accurate. Okay. Can I tell you my favorite detail? The arrow slits. Those tiny little windows that are weirdly shaped, really narrow on the outside, much wider on the inside, which means from the outside, very incredible, very difficult to shoot through. But from the inside, the archer can aim at lots of different angles. See? That is clever. It's not just a hole in the wall, it's geometry. Weaponized geometry. You knew triangles could be so intimidating. I think this is why I loved history as a kid. Everyone made it sound like it was just memorizing dates. I didn't care about the dates. I cared about questions. Why is that staircase weird? Why is the window shaped like this? Who looked at a hill and thought, yes, that's where I'm building my giant stone fortress? History is just thousands of years of people solving problems. Sometimes brilliantly, sometimes very, very badly. You're doing it again. That little smile. The one that says she's forgotten we're supposed to be playing our game. Didn't we? Oops. How long have I been talking? 25 minutes? No, there's no way. Really? Oh god, I said 5 minutes, and I genuinely believed it would be 5 minutes. Okay. One last thing, and I promise. Actually, no, that's a lie, because we still haven't talked about the keeps, or the moats, or the concentric castles, or the battlements. They're not just decorative. You know, maybe we should just save those for another cup of tea. Thank you for listening. I know it probably wasn't how you expected our evening would go. But I really love that I can get excited about something this niche. Instead of stopping me, you just smile. Although, next week, I have a question for you. And I know this is going to sound really strange. Have I ever told you why octopuses are basically tiny underwater geniuses?